And only Michael Lauber. How's it going, Michael?
Oh, just another day in paradise over here as we deal with the post-election chaos around the world.
Right? I mean, I have my own opinion on that, but wow. What could one loss or one win do to the whole world?
Well, it's had a lot of trickle-down effects as the message has become clear on a lot of different levels with the media and their narrative that they're losing control over it, that the people want to change, and not just here, but around the world. And it's made a big impact, and I would say mostly positive, but we are seeing some other very interesting events unfold right now.
Yes, and because today was extremely busy, um, I was planning to have slides and videos and clips, the fanciest stuff that professionals like you do. I didn't get to do any of them. So we're just going to talk about the stuff, and anybody who wants to fact check us, just Google what we're saying, and then you find them. Let's just start here. What's your reaction? Trump comes out and says this to Hamas: if the hostages are not released by inauguration day, I will unleash hell on you. What's that all
Yes.
about?
Well, I think they already know what that's about, and they can just look at his previous administration for exactly what that will lead to. They can I don't know, pull out their Ouija boards and ask Soleimani what they think he means about it, or El Baghdadi or whoever else. He's not going to play around. He's giving them plenty of time to release these hostages. And let's be real, like this is something that there should have been hard negotiations. What, a year and a half, or yeah, over a year ago at this point. And it hasn't happened. The Biden regime has been spineless and treated them with kid gloves. They tried to get Israel to back down and not go after Hamas and Hezbollah and Islamic Jihad and everybody else that was involved in the October 7th attacks. And if these hostages aren't free by inauguration day, I'm sure they will pay a price. And I imagine it will be utter brutality. And I'm sure they'll be telling him to back down and blah, blah, blah. But, we're seeing this is the contrast between somebody that talks and somebody that gets things done. So hopefully they heed the warning and they don't do anything to spit in the face of President Trump and the incoming administration, or I'm sure there will be severe consequences, the likes of which they've never seen before.
Yes, true. I will just get sidetracked for a minute. I just got a message saying there's no audio. So anybody else on any of the platforms, I can see your comments. Let us know if there's an audio problem. I mean, it would be fun. I would say if there's no audio, then try to read our lips.
Yeah, it'll
Hide
it'll
behind
make it
your
into an
microphone, Michael. Hide behind your microphone.
yeah. Then they can't see what I'm saying.
Hopefully there will be audio. Okay, I'm gonna also pull up one more chat here to make sure. If there's no audio, I'll try to fix it, but we'll get there. I'm waiting to hear back from the original message if there was, well, if there is, or I could actually just do this. You're gonna hear an
Yeah, I'm
echo,
gonna.
so go with it. Nope, we're good. I heard the audio.
Okay, good.
Okay. It is fixed. Okay, perfect. So I should probably check my phone more often for the text messages that come in. And by the way, since I'm on the whole distraction side track, I will see all your comments coming in. So if you have questions, comments, suggestions, if you want to say anything, just go for it. Oh, perfect. Audio clear on it. I was about to say FBI because she put an exclamation mark on it, so it looked like FBI. We're very clear on FBI, Facebook. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what I'm gonna say, Michael. We don't usually do this, but me and you would do this. I actually think Hamas is going to challenge this challenge. I'm not necessarily questioning if Trump will follow through or not, but I have this very strong feeling that Hamas is going to challenge him. They're gonna test the water, which is sad. Don't get me wrong, because I mean, there's so much that needs to be fixed inside the United States of America that, of course, preferably we would like him to right off the bat start with issues inside the country. But if that's the case, he's going to have to divide his attention for some of the Middle East scenarios. But I really think Hamas is going to not follow through, to challenge him, mock him. I don't know, see where it goes. Because remember, at the end of the day, Red Green Axis Alliance are trying to make him look bad, right? Right off the bat. The left, Marxist, socialist, communist, Islamist, lots of East, they're all gonna unite under one umbrella to make him look back. So I really strongly believe. I know I'm supposed to be all hopeful and all. Oh yeah, they're gonna release our hostages, but here's what I cannot help but to think. I wasn't born back then, but I have studied it. As you know, I covered it a lot. Deja vu, 1979 hostage crisis, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, including the release the hostages before I'm sworn in or there'll be consequences. And you're
Michael, give
right.
me a little bit of more volume. Your volume somehow dropped.
Okay, give me a second here. On my end, things are maxed out.
You want to get the microphone closer? Maybe you heat it when we work. Up there you go.
Is that a little better?
I can hear you a little better. Yes.
Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you're correct, and it is very reminiscent of the situation in '79 going into '80 when Reagan was inaugurated, and they may try to test things this time. At the same time, they do know there'll be severe consequences if they do that. And how many hostages do they still have left? And how many are American?
I think the total hostages are about 120 some. I don't know the exact sum. I don't know how many of them are American. 70? 67?
Wow.
You keep talking. I keep Googling.
Okay. Because, I think, if they don't comply and don't release all the hostages by Inauguration Day, hopefully they're prepared with an immediate strike on their leadership, other key members in multiple countries, wherever they're hiding at. Let them send the message that no one is safe until these people are released. And I think it ought to just be a constant bombardment until they do release the hostages, or they make some other foolish move. That they're dumb enough to execute the hostages that they still have, then same thing. There's got to be major consequences to ensure this kind of thing never happens again. It used to be, in South America or wherever else, you didn't take Americans as hostages because you knew that as soon as you did, there wasn't going to be a negotiation. There was going to be a team of Navy SEALs coming in or an airstrike, and they were just you're going to be, grease on the pavement. There wasn't going to be anything left. They'd be, identifying a bucket of their former friends. And we need to regain that reputation to where people are afraid to screw with us. Terrorists, cartels, whoever else, people that terrorize the citizenry, that if they harm Americans or our allies, there will be swift, final, and fatal consequences that we will pound you into the ground and no one will ever hear from you again.
Yes, and here I just look up how many American hostages Hamas still has, right? I get 10 results coming on Google. Out of 10, 4 different answers. You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, no.
There is a claim of 7, 4, 28, and 11. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where our reporting is at. The top results with the top mainstream can't even give us an answer. Does anybody know?
28 is the number that sounds right to me. But the fact of the matter is, again, like this is why there's no trust in our media. Something as simple as this, they can't even agree on. And if they were disputing one hostage, whether this person was dead or alive or something dumb like that, I'd get it. But for it to be 4 to 28, that's a pretty wide margin.
Fox is claiming 7. Fox News is saying 7. And funny enough, it's a 7 U.S. hostages. And then when you open up, expand, and read, it says the families of the American Israeli hostages.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt that a lot of them are going to be citizenship, American Israeli citizenship. That makes a lot of sense to me. The fact of the matter is,
that part does make sense. My point is okay, so 7 American Israeli, 2 American, 1 American Iranian. When your headline says 7 U.S. hostages, you gotta make sure that 7 is all dual, not dual citizen. None of them have clear answers.
No, well. And again, that's part of through this whole election cycle, they wanted to sweep this whole story under the rug as much as possible because that was one of the things that was really hurting Harris and dividing their voting base. Half the Democrats are now pro-Hamas, pro-terrorism radicals now, even though they don't understand what it is they're really supporting, or at least a lot of them don't. And the other half, is pro-Israel. So they were trying to ride the line, hide the story as much as they could because it was splitting Kamala's base. So yeah, I'm not surprised there's inaccurate reporting.
Well, one thing we know for sure is 99.9% of what we hear from Middle East definitely half truth, non truth, made up, twisted narrative. Talk about Middle East. Let's go there for a minute. Well, we kind of started with Trump and his warning to Hamas. So Biden organized a ceasefire between Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Israel. Well, that fell apart pretty quickly, but the timing is pretty curious. It fell apart right as Syria is getting heated. It's like, no, don't look that way. Over here. Let's look at the same story that we watch every year under literally every single time Israel corners either Hamas or Hezbollah, they're about to disappear. They get a call from U.S., hey, ceasefire. And Israeli government is like, okay, ceasefire. And then we all go along, and then we come back to the same scenario.
Yeah, it does no one any good. I don't know why Israel allows Biden to throw this leash on them and prevent them from vanquishing their enemies, because they already know what it's going to result from. It's just, as you said, it's the same situation over and over again. They're crippled, then they're given time to recover. Then 6 months later, there's another massive attack on Israel. More people are killed, more hostages are taken, and it's all because we won't let them finish the job and just eliminate the threat.
Yes, but I would say it's not necessarily them letting Biden do it to them. They've been letting every president do that to them. Now, as you know, I have my own personal opinion about that, and I have voiced it over and over and over. I absolutely know for fact Israel has what it takes to finish them off. They're not doing it. And please, disclaimer, people, government, country, religion, keep them separate. If I'm talking about the government of Israel, I'm not anti-Semite. You can call me that, but I just want to make sure that you get the facts straight. The Israeli government, especially Netanyahu, I know a lot of Americans like him. I disagree with 90% of his decisions. This is one of them. Every time he might be replaced, he might be not reelected, this all starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes down, it goes quiet, and he listened to every single president of the United States of America. So, I don't know. One should ask, why?
Yeah. Yeah, and that'd be a good question for him. Why stop short? Why not finish the goals and protect your country? I mean, I would expect Biden or President Trump or anybody else to do the same for America if the situation were reversed and we were being attacked by, I don't know, cartels just over the border from Mexico. I would, if that were to happen, we would want them to complete the job. If that meant chasing them down to some little village in southern Mexico and then wiping out their compound, we would expect it to be ended. We would expect hostages to be returned and the threat to be terminated. Israel has the same right to defend themselves. We should not be getting in the way of that.
No, we shouldn't. And you see, when I tell you people, Michael Lauber has genuine physical allergy to the name Biden. I just said Biden a few times. You hear him? Yeah. I forgot to tell you to take your allergy pills before coming on because I was about to throw Biden's name in there. Okay, let's quickly check on the chat. Hey, William, thank you so much for joining. I see you're with us on YouTube. Hey, Tracy. We have Tracy on. Tracy, Michael.
Hey, Tracy.
Josh. Okay. Josh says, I saw a video on X today where a cop approached an illegal. I'm not going to read the second. There is no illegal immigrant, okay? They're just illegals.
Invaders.
Exactly. You want to be blunt? They're invaders. They're illegals. Anyways, holding a wheelchair-bound, probably homeless vet at knife point, the officer ordered him to drop the knife, and he didn't. Bam. Of course not, because he knows if the officer does anything, the officer will be found guilty, and he gets to go sue the officer, make money And that's the way our system goes. That's why the title of this program specifically today is Chaos in Middle East and Lawlessness at Home, because the level of lawlessness is just getting crazy. Well, Aynaz, it's always said to pray for the peace for Jerusalem. Never said to pray for the government running things there. Exactly. Thank you, Josh. Bingo. And I always say, as a Christian, it is absolutely our duty to protect the land, the Holy Land, and that's it. And also, I personally think, as a follower of Christ, it is my job to call out whatever it is I need to call out. Tell the truth. Okay, getting too sidetracked, going on preach mode here. Sorry, Michael. Is your allergy better?
I'm probably going to be like I've had this off and on cold for like 2 weeks now, and it started up again earlier today, so we'll see what happens. I got one other story real quick that's kind of connected with the illegal aliens, and this is in Chicago from our friend Terry Newsom. So he sent me this yesterday, that they think this was a hit from this Venezuelan gang. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah. So it happened at a party. They think now the target was the DJ at the party, but that this was an assassination. They killed 4 people in the process, and there's other people still on life support there. And again, it's barely getting any coverage. 8 people were shot. And this is, again, 8 people in Chicago getting shot isn't a big deal. That happens every weekend. But the fact that this appears to be an assassination from Tren de la Agua on some other gang-connected guy that was a DJ at a party. Again, we're not dealing with good people either way around. But the fact of the matter is, we have a criminal gang from Venezuela now assassinating Americans in Chicago.
Yes. Thanks, Tracy. Tracy thinks both of us rock. That was for you, Tracy. You know, you
Thanks,
said
Tracy.
something that's kind of, yes. And I'm not picking on you. I'm picking on all of us. 8 people killed in Chicago isn't a big deal. It happens on every weekend. You see, in last 20 years or so, Michael, we have become so comfortably numb to such inhuman acts in our country that part by part, Michigan is gone. Chicago, it's gone. LA, it's gone. We really need to rethink our thought process. And again, I am warning everybody. After inauguration, the challenges will start. And the challenges are not what you're thinking. The challenges of Islamic terrorism will start. They're going to come at us. And I understand, I can literally hear people, Michael, saying, oh, Trump's not going to let it happen. Trump is one man. He ain't God. He's one man. There's so much he can do. And guess what? They're going to go after him first. You really think they're done taking him out yet?
Yeah, well, Trump doesn't really have a choice in the matter. The border's been open for 4 years. Who knows how many terror cells wandered across with the rest of these people claiming asylum or sneaking across in between the points, even worse, that they're not on the map, they're not on the roster anywhere. They're the gotaways that are lying in wait, waiting for a signal, and then they've already got targets selected or part of a bigger plan. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that, especially as deportations start.
Mm-hmm. And me and you, Michael, we talk a lot off air, about a good 4 hours a day. And I was mentioning to you personally, I'm gonna have my struggles at the beginning because my heart wants Trump to get into Middle East, fix it all up, more specifically narrowing it down into helping people of Iran to topple the regime. But I have to remind myself, stop my heart and bring my brain up that America first. We need fixing here as a priority. So since I have the capability to be aware of what I'm going to be struggling with, I get to call out everybody else. We need to get our priorities straight. A lot of people are going to start being mad. A lot of people are going to start getting confused. Expectations are in very wrong. I really think people are already expecting unreasonable requests, results.
A miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. If we want miracles, no problem. Election night was a miracle. I know a lot of people think it was too big to rig. No. You want miracles? Let's stay where we were on election night. On your knees, repenting, begging for forgiveness, bring God back to your homes, and absolutely miracles are very possible. But we can't go back to our old ways where Trump and his administration become our God and expect
Agreed.
miracles. We can't do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing is we can't have people falling asleep again. We can't get lulled back into slumber like we always do after elections. Oh, okay. Well, we won. Things went our way. I can go back to my normal life, and we'll just expect things to change and to happen. No, we're fighting evil here. This deep state, this that has its tentacles wrapped around everything in our federal government. There. It's not just there; it's around the world. I mean, these are globalists that they want to maintain the control they have, and they're gonna react like a wounded animal, especially as these things start to move forward. So we have to stay engaged. We have to pay attention. We can't fall for the sympathies and the other things that we're going to see in the media. They're going to find some poor, grandma who's going to get deported because she was here illegally. And sorry, we have rules to this game. Everybody agreed to them. So we can't start getting sympathetic now. The problem has to get resolved here and around the world. But you're right. Like, we do need to be putting America first. We need to get our house in order before we can save the rest of the world, or attempt to. But yeah, I do think if they're going to rebellion in Iran again, we need to support the protesters, help topple that regime, and that cuts the feet out from under a lot of these Islamic terrorist organizations. Their funding all runs through Tehran. If you cut that off, it makes it a lot harder for them to do anything. Will that fix the Middle East? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But that will take one major tool away from them, and it makes it much easier for us to put pressure on some of these countries to back away from Sharia, to stop oppressing their own people, and stop creating the environment that terrorism thrives in, where that ideology is allowed to flourish and is funded and moved forward. So Iran's the linchpin in that, and the Islamic regime that controls that country with the boot on with their boot on the throats of their people needs to be toppled, and that will gain us a lot of leverage for security in the Middle East. It also takes away key allies from Russia and China, Venezuela, and other countries that hate us. So it's a huge victory for us that happens.
True. And since you, a little bit ago, you brought up globalists, let's quickly go to Syria. I know we don't hear much anymore. But one thing I notice is, of course, our media here, not just mainstream media, alternative media also. There's this phrase going on: the anti-Assad group and the civil war group and civil rights group. None of that. Okay. The group is anti-Assad, yes. However, let's be very clear. I won't make you even try to memorize this. I won't even say it. HTS, easy to remember. HTS is what they refer themselves to. HTS was born from Al Qaeda, okay? They call themselves a Sufi jihadi group. What is a Sufi jihadi group? The group that calls for global caliphate. I don't care how much they're anti-Assad. I don't care how much they're anti-mullahs of Iran, actually. But they are looking for global caliphate. The leader of HTS in 2019 gave a speech publicly. And he concluded that speech by saying, Allah willing, not only we will free Damascus, we will find the gates and open them to Jerusalem. That's who they are.
And is that the group that's more